Oh my god. Oh, why is that still? Oh. Oh, fuck. Fuck. What's up, Gilbertson? Welcome back. A non-font stream. Can you believe it? Can you believe I've been so fucking lazy? I don't know what I do. I don't know what I do all day. I wake up and I go on Twitter and it's gone. And the day is gone. It's gone. It's over. It's over. What's up with you guys? I edited one whole video while I was gone, though, actually. While I didn't stream for a fucking week or whatever. Oh, also, I went to fucking McDonald's. Because I wanted a fucking Shamrock Shake, okay? And they're out of stock of Shamrock Shakes, but they do have a fucking Shamrock McFlurry. I'm like, okay, whatever, I'll get that. They give me fucking... What the fuck is this shit, man? This isn't... It's melted by now. This isn't what a McFlurry is supposed to be like, man. What the fuck? What the hell? Crude petroleum, refined petroleum, ethylene polymers. Okay, so what country makes oil and almost nothing else? Kuwait, maybe? I don't know. Oh, holy shit. Okay. Right below Kuwait. Is Syria right below? I am having a... Or Saudi Arabia. Is it Saudi Arabia? 650... Saudi Arabia is more diversified, are they not? Apparently not. Anyway, hi Notafon. Yes, hi. Can you do an Asian tier list? Like a... What do you mean? A tier list of... like... Oh, I don't know if I wanna... I don't know if I wanna do that one. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if I wanna... I don't know if I wanna do that one. These people aren't gonna join. I just want it to not pause when I pause the game. Okay, we're good. Just give your top and bottom. I don't have strong opinions on the best Asian. I don't think I have an opinion on that. I don't know if I want an opinion on that. What's my favorite song? Probably Nude by Radiohead, probably, I would think. Anyway. It's been so long, and my fucking... it's a fucking shit show. Got so much shit. This is my... Oh wait, hold on, I didn't get my... The other graph. These are the two... best graphs I've ever seen, okay. Radiohead, do you listen to Joy Division? And I actually don't. I only of the you know, meme incel people, I only listen to Radiohead, okay. What am I looking for? God, give me a second. No Surprise is my fave. Basic. Here we go. This is also... These two graphs, okay, are 80% of like the... I'm not basic, bro. Nuh-uh. 80% of... To be clear, my actual... Okay. The early version of nude, I think is... I can't believe we're doing this. The reason I like nude is because there's an early version of it that I quite like. Hips are confirmed. Yeah, I know. Hold on, where's my playlist of, yeah, I have this playlist of just... Oh, fuck, I'm gonna copy strike. Of all the different versions of nude. 2 of them are actually the same, just different videos, but... They're not bad, but the first album. I mean, Pablo Honey is the worst. It's the worst Radiohead album. And that was their first, but... Anyway, these 2 graphs, okay, are 80... You know, I should probably just fucking go inside, shouldn't I? 80% of the, like, hardcore MAGA people, okay? These two graphs, okay, where we have the, this is the MAGA justification for tariffs, okay? They are incapable of comparing to the counterfactual, all right? They literally, people do this one so much. Libertarian free market. No, I mean like even a libertarian is able to, all the libertarians hate tariffs, okay? Maybe even more than I do, but believe it or not. People literally, there's a funny, ooh, what's the article called? His name is like Anthony. Oh, hold on, it was there. Anthony. This dude. Literally, like, where's his article about? His article, this guy is insane, by the way. His article about tariffs is like semi-coherent. I still think it's really wrong. It's just like, not like the most unhinged shit ever, but like recently this guy's been he's been on Twitter saying we're gonna have a balanced budget, no inflation, and manufacturing is gonna be back. And it's like, what, dog? No shot. There's no way he actually believes that. He's too smart to actually believe that. Although he is a crypto guy, so I don't know. Fuck, he posts too much. I love lamp. Free market equals cringe. Free market is goated. Goated. He has like the chart in here. It's like, you can see washing machines on like a downwards trend, and then there's the increase in the price level because of the tariffs, and then they continue the downwards trend, right? Until, I mean, he argues correctly, this spike is due to other inflationary pressures, and not tariffs. Told ya? Told me what? And this guy's like, washing machine prices were low at the start of 2020 and then they were pre-tariff. But it's like, maybe if we had the timeline, the timeline where you didn't tariff, they would just continue the downwards trend. Liberalism always leads to fascism. True. Truth. Nuke. Every time. No, I don't even think this right now proves it. Like, I don't think maybe you consider us already like a fucking fascist police state, but if you consider, I mean, half of the leftists that consider like America fascist now would also have considered Biden a fucking fascist. So like, I don't know what to tell you. Fascism's the highest stage of fear of capitalism. Welcome back, Open. Okay. And they do this with the fucking tax cuts too. They're like, oh, well, we cut taxes and revenue grew. And it's like, yeah, revenue, the tax base always expands. Like, what, like, You have to compare to the counterfactual of if you didn't cut the taxes. How much revenue would have been collected. But anyway. You know, the bright side of being lazy and never fucking streaming is that by the time I get to stuff, Jubilee, by the way, I didn't pre-watch, but I did scroll through and look at all his prompts. I did see like 2 clips on Twitter, him arguing the religious fundamentalism thing, and not many player. Oh my god, I forgot. Fuck this shit. And about the government agencies get tax cuts for hiring people of color. That's fucking hilarious, dude. I saw those 2 clips. What was I saying? Oh, by the time I get to this stuff, hopefully because I'm so late, Jubilee's not gonna care that I'm stealing their content. All right, Sam Seder, baby, let's go. Pretty sure communism is the pre-leading form of hunger. So true. I don't know. Well, I'll let you guys fight that one out in chat.
Like, what's the problem with xenophobic nationalism? Don't you think that's better for Americans in general? Like,
xenophobic
yes.
nationalism is better?
We should have a coherent culture. Everyone should be part of the same culture.
Which, do you get to choose what the culture is?
We already have a dominant culture.
I mean, look, I gotta be honest with you. Like, you and I have a fundamental disagreement. We will never see eye to eye on this. Hi, I'm Sam Seder, host of the Majority Report, and today I am surrounded by 20 conservatives. My first claim is Trump's attack on DEI hides his real goal, which is to give corporations more power.
Truth nuke.
Sorry, sir.
No worries.
All right. I think I have a slight issue with the back end of the premise. I guess Trump's attacks on DEI being a real goal to, give corporations more power. I'd rather center the conversation around the democratic, especially as conservatives, the issues that people have with DEI and why I believe Trump would, want to support the issues that people are voting for him.
I mean, I'm talking about his whole attack on DEI. It's actually DEIA, right? You know that, in government agencies. The A being for accessibility.
Right. Yeah, and I think the attack on DEI isn't an attack on people's protections. It's on the other end of the spectrum, right? Wanting to end DEI doesn't want to end protections for someone being disabled, someone being inaccessible to get into a job. It rather wants to
really
de-incentivize corporations to push them to hire these people on unfair bases, right?
Okay, but DEIA is not about quotas or anything like that. It is about protections for people within these organizations, or to make sure that you have different communities that have the opportunity to apply to these things.
Right.
So it can mean, within government agencies, it means things like, let's pay interns so that not only wealthy people can have their kids do internships in these agencies.
Right.
Or let's put out notices around different parts of town, metaphorically speaking, so that people know this job exists.
Right. This is where it begins, but this isn't the ultimate goal that conservatives have an issue with. Conservatives don't have an issue with trying to spread job applications to poorer communities.
Well, then why rescind DEIA requirements in government agencies?
Because the problem with DEIA is there may not be perceived actual number quotas, but that's what it devolves into, and especially with corporations.
Do you have evidence of that?
I mean, sure, we can look at corporations that are government agencies that are hiring people on not.
Why does he keep talking about corporations?
We can even look at
Would you
the
have
DNC's,
any evidence that that's happening?
Yeah, even the DNC's nomination of Kamala as president this year. There was no reason to
True.
nominate
That was an attack. That was DI that Trump definitely would have the power to stop, because the DNC is a private corporation. I don't know, Trump's attacks on DEI, I mean, you can talk about, maybe, I don't know, they shift their culture a little bit, and that's why we're seeing companies also walk back in some of their DEI woke shit or whatever. But he does not. He has control over the federal government and their executive agencies. He does not have control over what the Democratic Party does, what these private corporations do. Also, Sam isn't even arguing that DEI... I mean, well, he is basically arguing that now, but his initial prompt wasn't even that DI was good. It's just that Trump's attacks on DI is a distraction, which I think is probably largely true. I don't think he actually gives a fuck about fucking DI.
She wasn't democratically selected. She didn't go through a single primary. None of these things.
So you're saying that Kamala was the vice president of the United States after the president drops out 2 months before the convention. You think that's a DEI
She wasn't
hire?
Every presidential nominee is democratically selected to be the nominee for that party. Except for
That's not true. Parties can do that's not. If that has not historically been true of our 2 major parties. There have been times where primaries weren't very democratic. Before the I don't remember the whole timeline of when we started doing primaries more democratically, but it was before it was after the Vietnam War we started doing them more democratically. But also the does the Green Party even have primaries that people can vote in? They might, but like a lot of the smaller parties, absolutely not. Their nominees are not democratically selected. Again, parties are like private corporations. They can basically do whatever the fuck they want. They're not like part of the government, believe it or not.
To 1972
Well, sure,
in the Democratic
but
Party?
this isn't before 1972.
Well, I understand, but what did you think you were going to run primaries in those 2 months?
Well,
I mean,
sure,
Joe Biden should have dropped out
even
3 years ago.
Before, well, sure, but even before, when Kamala was running in primary, she didn't.
Okay.
She wasn't the next man up. None of this. She wasn't the next person.
She
up.
was the vice president.
Right, of course, but
yeah,
she wasn't
that
in
tiny
primaries.
detail. But
Right,
listen,
well,
aside from, I would have might have wanted a different candidate as well. But that has nothing to do with Trump rescinding orders that basically say you need to search for a wide range of candidates, not necessarily give any different benefits, but you need to make sure different communities have access to the awareness of this job. You need in your office accessibility for people who have physical handicaps.
Sure.
If you have
What? Not fun. Did you already make a statement about your support of sex destiny? I don't know. What do you want me to say? I have not really interacted with Destiny ever. I don't think I need to make a statement about it. But okay. I think I've said everything I need to say on fucking Darius' stream. Like I don't know. Like.
Identify as as trans, you need to make it at least hospitable and not. This is all non-discriminatory stuff. That's what this is all about.
But you're cherry picking the portions of DEI that even conservatives don't have issues. Conservatives don't have issues with making workplaces.
The whole DEI
That's what he rescinded. Is what he
was a function of doing exactly what I said. Had nothing to do with quotas.
It is unfortunate that those things get taken out, and there might not have been specific.
What else was he trying to take out?
It's trying to take out.
Did you do? I don't know. What the fuck? I have never even so much as spoken to Destiny in a VC. So I don't know what you mean by like. My support of him. I don't know what. How do you want me to distance myself or distance my? I don't know what you're on about, bro. Oh fuck. Oh, I'm stupid. Nobody said he's base and stuff. Well, I still think I think his political beliefs are correct for the most part. I don't know. That's not going to change just because someone. Huh? Yeah, I'm a liberal too. What do you mean? I don't know what you want me to say. Like. Plenty of liberals are bad people. Plenty of conservatives are bad people. I don't think this is not a difficult concept to wrap your head around. Sometimes people whose beliefs you think are correct, still he doesn't have any beliefs. Oh, okay. Sweeping for it. Yeah, definitely.
People getting jobs that don't deserve those jobs. People getting pushed into positions they have no qualifications.
There is no evidence of what you just said happening in these government agencies.
That's not true. I mean, we're not allowed to sit here and have notes and numbers to pull up.
That's his only one.
You can't ask me to pull up numbers when I'm not able to sit here and look on a computer for you. But these are the problems that conservatives.
Sorry, you've been voted out. Please return to your seat.
See ya.
Okay, so I think the roots issue with DEI isn't what the previous gentleman was trying to point. Conservatives aren't necessarily have issues with those things like accessibility to people who might need help. The issue is, and I kind of referred to this before, when you have agencies and systems, what tends to happen when you have government overreach, big government, is that agencies and systems get abused. Government. And I think unequivocally, DEI was heavily abused in practice. It was great in theory. It's idealistic, which is sure is fine, that a lot of people can get behind, but it was abused in a lot of ways. When you have actors, like we're in California right now, when you have actors, white male actors who are being told, we do not want white men, we're not gonna cast any white men, we only want this particular kind of gender, race, right? That is an abuse of a system. It's no longer fair, but more about just perpetuating one aspect of visual compelling aspects, because at the end of the day, what's gonna happen is companies are gonna say, well, we want to look the most diverse.
Okay, well,
and what that is, it's moral grandstanding. Is that because we have more black women, we sell better soda.
Yeah, it's like communism, good in theory, not good in practice, real
truth. It's getting a little far afield from what Trump's DEI orders are. But I can tell you, as somebody who was a sitcom actor in the 90s, I would walk into a room.
I never debate the DEI shit, but like I have never actually looked into like how the fuck DEI is structured in government agencies, because I actually just do not. I just don't care. I just don't care. But like.
Would look like me, and I was doing a second position, which doesn't even exist anymore, where you do 2 pilots a year. And I was looking around basically every part of television.
He was mostly trolling.
I was centered in some fashion. It was either this is about my mother, or this is about my father, or someone like me was centered. So we can argue as to whether or not Hollywood is overcorrected in some fashion. But on a governmental level, the DEIA directives that agencies were following for the past 4 years is nothing. I don't know what you mean by abuse on it, but there was no evidence that it was an affirmative action program in those instances. It was about anti anti-discrimination. You cannot discriminate against these people, and you want to open up opportunities for a broad swath of people. Again, the internship is like one of the most material things that exist there, where the idea that you need to pay interns. And that's important because you want low-income people to have the same sort of like opportunities to see these things as wealthy people. You know, my kids can maybe afford to do an internship for the summer instead of going and getting a job.
So I think what's happening is we're talking about two different things.
Well, but I'm talking about Trump's DEIA rescission is a way of basically driving people out of these agencies, making it
you're saying Trump specifically, and I understand why you're saying Trump, but I think the American
He's the one that repealed them.
And I won't say whole because obviously it's not 100%, but a majority of American people have kind of rejected DEI because again,
I don't think a majority of Americans know what DEIA is.
That may be the case, but again, my point is we're talking about abuse of a system. What you're talking about is not necessarily what was happening. What people were seeing were, hey, because you're white, you can't do this, and liberals like to do this thing where they create systems and then they created the whole idea of woke and then they backed away and then conservatives say woke.
True.
And then don't know what woke is.
Liberals created woke
Biden
and then
literally
backed
said,
away. This
Kamala
is
Harris is
accurate.
being chosen because she is a black woman, and then all of a sudden, Democrats for the rest after that said that's not why she was chosen, even though Biden literally said that. And then we have this cognitive dissonance as if we're not living in reality.
Biden wanted to make sure that there was that there was an opportunity for a black woman to be his vice president.
Yes, but so why did Democrats move away from that and say no, it wasn't because she was a black woman? So my point is that
it's not because she's a black woman.
But that's what they said. I can agree that it's not because she's a black
Oh my
woman.
god. The thing, it's like the whole, fuck, hold on, the lava. It's the whole, because conservatives were attacking her for being unqualified. They said, like, the only reason she was chosen, was because she was a black woman, right? And therefore, like, she is unqualified. Okay, so there's actually a lot of lava there, so I need to find somewhere else to go. Well, that's not what Biden said. Like, the whole, the idea of DI or whatever, it's like, or even like full on like affirmative action. Usually it's not like pick unqualified people. It's just like, if you have 2 qualified people, maybe give the opportunity to the person that you think has been systemically discriminated against historically, or whatever the fuck. Like, that's the whole, it didn't mean that she was unqualified. That's the reason conservatives were attacking her, though.
Why did they say that then?
No, because there are plenty of black women, right? Like, he could have picked anybody, but he picked specifically her. You're positing the idea that there wasn't a black woman who would have been qualified for that position.
No,
and I don't believe that.
No, that's not. Conservatives aren't saying that there aren't, because again, even in the Republican Party right now, and in Trump's cabinet, there are people of color that Democrats pretend don't exist, like J.D. Vance's wife, and there's
J.D. Vance's wife is not in the cabinet.
No, but
First of all, yeah, J.D. Vance's wife is not in the cabinet. Second of all, is that the example we want to use, buddy? Is that the example we want to use when... I understand, okay, guys, Twitter is not real life. It's not real life. But holy shit, that day when people found out that J.D. Vance's wife was brown. Oh my god, that day on Twitter was something. What do you think about that guy who got banned and unbanned? Goes by the name Hank Biker. He's an apolitical conservative. Hassan should be permaban. I still don't get any ad revenue because of fucking Hassan, okay? Hassan, I don't understand like that. I think Twitch... there was an opportunity when he was banned for that 24 hours for Twitch to say, hey, wait a minute. Maybe this guy's done some shit that should get him banned for... maybe we should just keep him banned. But they didn't do that. They don't care. I don't care if people like me don't get my ad revenue. What has he done? I don't know. He interviewed that Houthi kid. Him and fucking Frogan constantly say, and Mike from PA too as well, right? Constantly say like unhinged, insane shit that advertisers don't like. I mean, that's why you can go to the so Twitch should ban him just because liberal smear campaign. How is it a liberal smear? I understand there's people like wait, actually, can't I go to the hatred.tv? I mean, we can like look at some of the fucking shit he says. Do you study economics? Not in a serious sense. The kid was not a Houthi. Hassan claimed to it. Is Schrodinger's Houthi. Hassan claimed to. If it wasn't a Houthi, it was just a random Yemeni kid. Like, why would Hassan interview him? The kid at least claimed to be a soldier on social media, right?
What rapes does Hezbollah do, bro?
What rapes did Hezbollah? And then also, like, it doesn't actually matter whether or not he's not a Houthi because Hassan
Hamas
brought that kid on because he supports the Houthis. Hassan interviewed that kid because he supports fucking terrorists. Because he supports the Houthis. He wants the Houthis to fucking destroy Israel. What's the other site that Dan made that let you
Mob.
that had all the clips that you
Why'd
could
you
send to
have to bomb the
advertisers as
hospital?
well?
This We will continue.
Frogan thing was not even anti-Semitic. Which one? There's a lot of Frogan things. I think Frogan, the thing that got Frogan banned was the tier list thing, right? She also has said like she hopes
Killing your
fucking
soldiers by our
veterans get
locally
PTSD and like. Oh yeah, Hassan playing the fucking Houthi musical. What he said he in college? I'm just gonna get an associate of science, and then I'll probably transfer to some. I'm going to commit to college. I'll probably transfer to some bigger college at some point. I'll probably do economics there. Probably. Houthis are terrorists. Fuck them. Real. So you say Houthis are terrorists because of their banner? That, and I think they have,
The Maccabi Tel Aviv
at the very least, careless disregard for civilian life, it seems like. But I mean, yeah, their banner is saying like curse to the Jews. Seems to be something, but you realize Middle East Jew basically means Zionist, so the Houthi banner is not anti-Zionist, it's not anti-Semitic. They are not terrorists. Okay, wow. I mean, like, they're attacking fucking civilian ships that are going to Israel, bro. I don't know what you mean, or just owned by like an Israeli dude, or some of them aren't even connected to Israel at all. Who's this attack random cargo ship? Not terrorist. So defense against genocide is terrorism. There are ways. I mean, I obviously factually disagree that it's a genocide, but whatever. Like, even if it is a genocide, there are ways to quote unquote defend against a genocide, and then there's terrorism. Okay, like even if their goal is to bankrupt Israel or whatever, there are ways to do that via terrorism. Like. These don't preclude each other. I don't know what you mean.
And now I'm in a bad mood. I mean, it's still.
Majoring in econ is lame. What's so lame about it?
Started chasing us.
IDF foreign from Ergon and Haganah. Wow, you're the first person telling me what? They were Israeli terrorists in 1948. What? Do you tell me the fucking Yishuv was committing terror? Wow, I've never read about that one before. Good one, buddy. Yeah, Hassan is the reason I don't get ad revenue on Twitter. Sorry, not Twitter, Twitch. Obviously, him and Frogan and the other insane people, Denims. The people who just, by the way, so one of their fans, or maybe it was Bad Empanada himself, or one of their fans, fucking called CPS on H3H3, like. Because they are terrorism too. So according to that logic, you should be banned for interviewing an American too. No, first of all, again, the intentions matter in that Hassan was interviewing. I mean, obviously, again, there's a factual disagreement. But there's probably a way to interview a terrorist on Twitch, even like a full-blown terrorist, that might even be TOS compliant. The issue is, the reason Hassan was interviewing that kid was because he supports the Houthis. It was to promote the Houthis to his audience. What do you mean? He wants his audience to support the Houthis. He supports the Houthis. He wants innocent civilians on fucking ships to be murdered, bro. I don't know what you mean. I was going to say he wants it. He doesn't care as long as they're quote-unquote defending from a genocide or whatever, like you say. But Denim seems like such a stuck-up. It's so true. Twitch debates who are the real Semites. Yeah, I know. And now when Jews are not Semites, you can have anti-Semitic. Yep. Yeah.
If JD Vance was a Democrat, his wife would be lauded all over
the
everything
idea
because of her
that
color
I'm
of
not,
skin.
listen, I'm not here to defend the Democrats' choice on every policy, but there is one party in this country that is identitarian. There is one party that is represented and it is homogenous, and it is the Republican Party. 85% of Republicans are white. That's just the reality.
So does that
Some
mean
people
that,
don't necessarily have a
hold on,
problem with it.
but here's the thing. You said even if let's just say, okay, that's true. 80% of Republicans are white. Does that mean that they're less moral? That they can't
It's not
run
a question of
they can't
moral.
run
It's just the idea
What does
that
race have to do? What does
they
race?
That's what Sam was arguing. The Republican Party is white and therefore less moral. This is the mind of woke people. Hey, Isaac, thanks for the sub. I appreciate it. Hell
is
yeah.
DEI.
I am DEI. Oh, there's the alert. I was like, where'd the alert go? But yeah. Sam's seat reviews all on this coin. Hell yeah, thanks for
have
the
to
sub.
say.
Hold on, what does
Donald
race,
Trump didn't have to
what
say
does race
my
have
vice
to
president's
do?
going to be a white male
What
because
does,
they all knew it was going to
No,
be.
this is the premise of DI. What does race have to do with running an effective government? What does race have to do? If let's say DI on the micro
I will
level,
tell you right now.
DI on the micro level at McDonald's.
I'll tell you.
Am I going to
Ask me
get
a
better
question.
nuggets?
Listen, I'll ask you a question.
If
True,
the
okay.
cashier is black or white, what does that have to do with anything?
I'll tell you what it. First of all, DEIA means that if you come into this agency or corporation, you're not going to be discriminated against because you don't look like everybody else or you don't.
So he posted a video about Jon Stewart being wrong. I'm gonna need you to cut that out. He was. I mean, like, he was wrong about like 2 things in that or whatever. I mean, I don't mind Jon Stewart that much, but fuck, I need to edit more videos every time. I keep getting distracted anyway.
Like physical abilities as everybody else, or you may require handles on the bathroom or whatever it is. That's what DEIA does. But
To be
does it
clear,
make government.
Jon Stewart, I have to imagine, was basically. I don't want to frame this negatively. He was like told these talking points. I don't think he's like out there like doing a ton of research himself. I think he has a team of like researchers and writers that like tell him stuff, and then I'm sure the researchers and writers are respectable people, but I think they get things wrong sometimes, and then I think he goes on to repeat that in debates he does.
Better if there's a broad representation of the people it's supposed to govern, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Correct me if I'm wrong. You guys
Justice Liberty Veterans Association
Don't
killed
we
me.
already have things in our Constitution that protects people's rights, protects people?
No.
We don't?
No.
Do we or do we not?
No, we do not. Tell me what protects people from discrimination in housing and in work and hiring or getting loans? It's all statutes. It's all statutes. And in these government agencies, there was nothing except for that order. That's why Trump just.
14th Amendment protects some of us, right? Or protects some of it, right? Well, it's equal protection under the law, so, right? I mean, that's the justification. The statutes have to be justified by the Constitution. Isn't that what they're justified under?
Rescinded it.
I'm gonna tap out because I think someone else has a better can defend that point specifically better than me.
All right, please return to your seat.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How you doing?
Okay, when it comes to DEI, essentially, if a person was not racist, he would hire someone regardless, right? So why would we need a policy
True.
to protect a person if we've moved past racism? So would you consider yourself racist?
Wait, are you suggesting we've moved past racism?
Would you consider yourself racist?
Of white supremacy. I think actually, like, we all do to some degree.
Well, I'm glad that you're saying that. So I guess going to the LGBT topic,
That,
it seems
I
like it's very
mean,
prevalent for
he probably could have phrased that better. He should have said no, but I do think we all participate in a system that, maybe has some racial supremacy still baked in or whatever. He probably should have said fucking something like that. But. Destiny, non-fun, or dark/shadow liberals. Real.
for you as an issue.
Well,
Do you
it seems like a big issue. I mean, the Republican Party spent literally hundreds of millions of dollars demonizing trans people.
Well, the reason why they've done something like that, and I think you're misconstruing the narrative, they haven't demonized them. They simply want protections back for their own children.
I don't
Because children are
know.
being stripped away from
I
their
don't
own
know. I don't know. It seems like there's a lot of. I don't know. I don't know. He's been watching. I don't know. Tim Pool these days. Like literally, I mean, he's bringing up he just brought up the fucking children thing. Like, the whole reason, like, you're concerned about children. I was gonna say, I mean, maybe it's not literally the whole reason, but, like, actually, I saw the clip of this guy on Twitter being stupid. I will say the whole reason. The whole reason this guy's afraid of trans people and children so much is because fucking right-wing media, probably funded by fucking Russia, is telling him to be scared of trans people because they're gonna fucking groom his children.
Wait, children are being stripped away from their parents?
Yes.
I know Nafan exposed himself to be a full-on slave of capital by saying Hassan should be banned because I don't get revenue because of him. I mean, like, I think... Okay. That's the selfish reason. I think Twitch as a platform is better with Hassan banned as well. I'm just saying I've also personally been aggrieved by this. Like, that's the... Like, I think Twitch... is better as a platform if it's on banned, partially because, yes, he'll get ad revenue if he's banned on it, but I also just don't want... I just don't want people of my age watching Hassan and being radicalized by the fucking Houthi supporter fucking dumbass, okay? I think the world would be better if Hassan banned. Okay.
I'm taking it.
Are we just gonna?
Or they've now included gender identity as a premise to remove and strip.
So why did
rights
liberals
for
become
children
GDP first
who maybe they
libertarians?
are rejecting their gender ideology.
So, but you'd be okay with parents who agree with their children's doctors to provide.
Oh fuck! I'm fucking stupid. The anti-capitalist position is that the largest streamer who makes the most money should be allowed to say what he wants, but smaller streamers should who repeat it should be demonetized. Real. It's good to get radicalized against capitalist imperialism. Real truth. I didn't consider that.
I do not agree with that. Do you?
I believe that parents and doctors can make those decisions with the kids.
If a child can't smoke, drink, or have sex before the age of 18, they should not be able to consent to a sex change. Now, in terms of a DEI initiative, the reason why there's military bans on trans women and trans men is because they do not have the ability to cooperate at a mental capacity when they're constantly undergoing hormone treatment, as well as depression pills, as well as different mood stabilizer pills. And so when you go out to combat, do you really think you're going to bring an ice cooler pack with your whether that be hormone estrogen or whatever it may be, while you're about to shoot someone of the opposing?
Send them to the front. Send the HRT to the front lines, baby. Let's. You know that movie that conservatives got mad at of the movie about the, is it called a brigade? It was an like army division or whatever of a bunch of black women who were in charge of delivering mail during World War II, and conservatives got mad at it, even though it's like based on a fucking true story. We can make it even more woke. The black trans woman army division in charge of delivering HRT to the front lines, okay?
Were DEIA orders that had to do with agencies that have nothing to do with the military.
Yes, they do. Yes, they absolutely do.
The FDA.
True.
They just revoked the ability of the Air Force to teach.
They make
Air
the
Force
food for the
members about
military, bro.
Tuskegee Airmen.
Well,
What are we talking about here?
Okay, well,
honestly, like they're rewriting history.
Well, that's your perspective, right? But at the end of the day, if a person...
Tuskegee Airmen, we can all agree, existed, right?
Just listen to this. If you were racist, right, and you were an employer, and if you wanted to absolutely be racist and exercise...
HRT super soldiers.
That sort of prevents people from seeing the reality. If a person truly wanted to hire you based on your intellect, based on your skill set, they would. DEI essentially provides tax cuts for the end of the year when you create your tax returns. They give you a tax credit for hiring someone who's black.
Everyone saw this clip on Twitter, right?
In these agencies?
In agencies and private
in government agencies, they don't get tax cuts for hiring people
and
of
the other
color.
thing I
This
wanted
is
to
protect people from discrimination.
The other thing I want to kind of state here is that I've realized that a lot of the times with the liberals is that you guys push for example, for DEI and people of Latino or Hispanic descent. And a lot of the times what you don't realize is you're actually doing more harm than good by putting them in positions where you make them believe that it's based on the color of their skin. It's based on...
DEIA is not...
It's based on merit. DEI emphasizes color, skin color, physical attributes.
It says that the people who work in your agency, it's about anti-discrimination.
Discrimination against what?
Against people who may have different cultural mores, may have different...
But that's irrelevant to a job, right? It should be based on merit. And that is the emphasis
People
here.
get hired as a merit, but if you're
anti-discrimination is irrelevant to a job.
I'm talking about Trump's rescission of these orders
If you received a
on
tax
these
cut
agencies.
as an employer, wouldn't you hire
what's
a
up,
person of color?
PBW? Far welcome back.
You could pay them less.
Listen, we're talking about government agencies that do not get tax cuts.
I should have read the message before I fucking woke.
Government agencies...
They don't.
No.
Yes, they do. They absolutely do.
I'm talking about
every private and public sector gets tax cuts when you hire a person of color.
Government agencies don't pay taxes. Government agencies are funded by the government.
That is not true. That is not true. And you know what? I think the whole juxtapose of this entire...
Also, I don't even think that second part is true. That private companies get fucking tax cuts when they hire fucking black people. Maybe there was a program for that somewhere, but I don't think that happens for the entire private sector. What
is this?
This is January.
Okay, so we can agree on that. The FDA does not pay taxes. It does not get a tax cut because it doesn't pay taxes. DEIA forces them as an agency to say, if you have a job opening, you must do your best efforts to make sure that every
I like that.
part
I love
of
the
society...
buzzword. You must do your best effort. I love that buzzword.
Okay, pause.
Because you feel like you have to. You're pressured to.
Yes.
You shouldn't be pressured to hire someone based on skin color.
No, not to hire someone on skin color, but to put up notice.
Conservative listen challenge. What's up, Bob Marley? Welcome back. Impossible. I don't even know. Let me get a sippy. We need to discuss NGDP targeting and endogenous mud, dude. Can we imagine? That's what if I'm on fucking Jubilee. Money growth is endogenous. It's like no one comes up. No one knows what the fuck that. The Federal Reserve should do a nominal income target.
About that the job exists. Make sure that you put it in different communities so that you have.
I never figured out the endogenous money, by the way. But
an application pool is possible.
And therefore you get tax cuts.
All right, return
At
to your
the end
seat.
of the year when you file taxes, you get a tax cut for hiring someone who speaks a
Please
different
return to your
language or a
seat.
different skin color.
I don't know how to respond to that. How you doing?
So I want a little bit more clarification because I don't even know if we got it yet on which part benefits corporations, like from your
Okay,
perspective.
so agencies, the U.S. government agencies. the vast
Okay,
majority,
finally, they're
what
talking
they
about the
functionally do
actual-
is inhibit
his actual
corporations,
prompt.
from essentially externalizing their costs onto society.
Sure.
So the example would be, I used it before, but it's a good one. I'm making Teflon C8, for instance.
Scott, I've read this like 5 times by now. It just I need to read more to understand it. But Scott Sumner doesn't reject endogenous money or whatever completely. He just and he just says like it doesn't mean what post-Keynesians thinks it means.
Okay, and C8 is supposed to be burned because instead of like deposited because it's a forever chemical. And I can go out and instead of burning it, it's too expensive to burn it. I'm going to dump it into a river. And the EPA comes in and says like, you can't do that. We're going to fine you. You're not allowed to do this. Well, what the company's doing when they do that is they're going to take the profits that come with lowering their costs by dumping it into the river, and those costs are then borne by everybody who lives around that river. They're going to get cancer. They're going to get gastrointestinal problems, whatever it is. And society bears the cost of that.
Can you
because
connect
those
the dots for me, though? Because it sounds like we're talking about something completely different.
And so the DEIA stuff is just the beginning of demoralizing these agencies and trying to wreck them from the inside. It's all part of like Russell Votes thing, the OMB, the whole Schedule F, where they get rid of civil servants and they demoralize people. And they
I don't even know. You don't even have to go for fucking to DEI for this. This is just like what they want to do, like pretty openly. Like they offered all of their fucking thing. React Carter. I'm busy reading about endogenous money theory. They sent them the a fork in the road memo or email or whatever to try to get as many people out as possible. Like this is what Doge exists for. Okay, Trump signed that executive order to it's like holding independent agencies accountable or whatever to try to bring more of these independent agencies under his control.
to be able to function.
So then would you agree if this is about demoralizing? I mean,
just assume old terms,
people
concepts
voted for Trump,
from
right?
post-Keynesian.
Do you not think that in part, you even said yourself
PKE, is that post-Keynesian economics, MMT, and Calvin balls and sleep better at night. Fuck, I stumbled onto the Destiny liberal copycat. Real truth.
Americans don't really know what DEIA is according to your definition of it.
Well, the government's definition of it.
Okay, well, I would argue that the average American is demoralized by what they've seen, the way that the government goes about their DEI policies in the military and other organizations, not just the military.
Please return to your seat.
Okay.
Hey, before we go any further, we want to take a moment to say thanks so much to Straight Arrow News for powering the fact checks in this video. Straight Arrow News is an app and website.
Don't care.
Just facts. Thanks again to Straight Arrow News for partnering with us on this episode. Now let's get into it.
My next claim is, unless
Number
you're a
one
billionaire, a
sex
religious
fest
fundamentalist,
offender.
or a xenophobic national.
I'm nowhere near even the. That's just obviously not true. It's just nowhere near true. I don't. Did you guys see, by the way, that Destiny got the same fucking lawyer as Bill Cosby? Which, I mean, kind of makes it, because this guy, I mean, this is the guy, I mean, if you're fucking accused of sex crimes and you're famous, I guess this is just the guy that you go to. But holy shit, dude. He has to know optically there's no way that looks good. Like, are you a Zog shill? Absolutely. Straight Arrow News, I'll stick to my cis media.
Voting for Trump was a mistake.
Also, truth nuke.
Okay, so let's tackle one aspect: religious fundamentalists. What benefit would religious fundamentalists
Oh my
get?
God, are
And
they
also,
all
can you define
gonna-
what is a religious fundamentalist?
And maybe you could say
I
more
saw a
like
clip of this one on
Christian
Twitter.
nationalist.
Not this interaction, but of this prompt. Are they all gonna do the religious fundamentalist thing? Bill Cosby was innocent, so was destiny. That is certainly a position. Did Cosby plead guilty, or was he just found guilty?
In this instance, but things
just
like
found guilty.
The attacks on trans folks, the attacks on a
Just.
woman's right to choose, the idea that we're going to get stuff like an enhanced RFRA, which is going to mean that if you're a pharmacist and you don't want to provide birth control, you may not have to.
Don't you think you're assuming that
if you believe that public education, we should take that money and pour
Couldn't
it into
afford the
religious
Epstein
schools,
letter.
you're
It
gonna-
might
you're
have
gonna get
been. It
a
might
benefit
be
out of
the
Trump
fucking Epstein
administration.
letter,
Don't you
dude.
think
I
you're
don't know.
assuming that the vast majority of Americans who are moderates,
What do you think you're going to get out of the Trump administration?
economic relief? That was
What kind of
accused.
economic relief? They're going to cut Social Security. You're going to have to pay for your parents. They're going to cut when they go after the agencies like they're going after, right?
Oh, really? Come on. I mean, you fucking better than literally. First of all, I would make him justify what Trump is going to do to give him economic relief, because I don't know. Maybe he'll say tax cuts. Other than that, what the fuck does Trump have planned? None of his other policies are going to be deflationary. I'd make him justify it. I wouldn't just I wouldn't just immediately tell him all this stuff. But also, we don't even have to go to maybe they'll cut Social Security. You know, they are cutting fucking Medicare and Medicaid already. Although actually they probably will. The no tax on Social Security benefits will make Social Security go insolvent sooner. I mean, not that much sooner, but sooner. There is that. Okay, well, fuck.
Outlined in Project 2025, Russ Vought, who's going to be the OMB head, he was the OMB head the first time around. He wrote all the book on this stuff.
Okay, well, you bring up
when you cut agencies and go after them, and you fire all the inspector generals so that they're not being able to make sure that the agencies are working, who do you think profits from that? It's corporations. They're going to go after agencies that make sure your food
like the Consumer fucking Protection Bureau thing.
Is not full of botulism.
Insolvent.
That
I know
your
you
air
hate.
is not full of mercury.
I know you hate it. Okay, but I'm speaking truth. Okay, facts don't care about your feelings. Okay, insolvent in a sense that the way the law is written, we're not people aren't going to get their checks anymore. Okay, we could fucking monetarily finance it. Okay, we could, but we'd have to change the law, and that would probably be bad. Also, do you guys know, excluding transfer payments, that's doing a lot, right? Government spending as a percent of GDP in the U.S. is literally only 6%. The federal government spending as a percent of GDP, I don't think it's all government, I think it's just the federal government, is 6% in the U.S., excluding transfer payments. That's wild. That's wild. That's really low. But it's still only 26% overall, which is not that high. It's that's lower than most other OECD countries, I believe.
That your water is not full of C8. This is what they're going to do. Agencies exist to curb corporations from externalizing their costs and privatizing their profits. So it may be cheaper for a company to dump their chemicals into a river than it is for them to dispose.
Does that include
of it
aid to
in a
the
safe way.
scientist genocide machine? I believe so. That's not a transfer payment. That's not a transfer payment. I actually don't know, because a lot of that is just giving them. I don't. That might be included in the military budget. I don't know how it works actually, because a lot of the aid we give to other countries is just giving them a budget to buy U.S. military equipment for free or for discounted. That might just be in the military budget, but I don't think that counts as a transfer payment. No.
Get the profits from that, but the costs are borne by society. They're borne
I think
by
that's just
society in the form of,
discretionary
people
spending.
get cancer. They're borne by society in terms of we've got to do the cleanup. That's what agencies do.
Pause. You've been voted out by the majority. Please return to your seat.
That's good. Hey, that's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Every country is widely in pension systems, healthcare, amount of state-run enterprise, etc. That makes cost in comparison mostly nonsense. I don't know. Wait, what do you mean? In terms of just government spending as a percentage GDP? I don't think that, it depends what you're trying to do with it. Like, I don't think it's nonsense to say, like, hey, clearly, like, conceivably, if France is spending 60%, France might not be the best example because they're, like, the highest. If all these other countries are spending 40% of GDP and the U.S. is spending 26% of GDP or whatever, and those countries aren't insolvent, like, conceivably, it would be possible for the U.S. to finance aggregately just a spending level of 26% of GDP. I don't think that's crazy to say. Oh god, this Jubilee. What's up, Big JC? Yeah.
Yeah. Are you an atheist?
I'm a Reformed Jew.
This clip.
I don't have a strong belief in the existence of God, but I don't think that religion.
I did see the clip on Twitter.
Okay, so what's wrong with religious fundamentalists? So like when you said trans rights and women's rights or something like that?
Well, the problem I have with religious fundamentalists, and really more, I guess it's really theocrats, is that they want to impose their morality that comes from their religion on the rest of us, and I don't.
But morality, from your view, is going to be a preference, right? It's not morality; it's a preference. So morality without a foundation is going to reduce you to a preference.
Well, I have a foundation for my morality.
Which is what?
It's a humanist vision of what basically creates as little suffering as possible for as many people.
Okay, so you're like a consequentialist? Utilitarian?
I don't really bother myself with being a consequentialist or a utilitarian.
It's always going to reduce you to a preference. So if you say that killing is wrong and I say it's right, you wouldn't have a consensus with that.
Well, no, I don't.
Didn't he just... How is he... How do you get that from what he said, brother? He literally, I mean, he didn't like describe himself as a consequentialist or utilitarian, but like he basically gave a stance independent reason for his morality. He said, whatever leads to the least suffering or whatever. It's like that, like he gave like a non-preferential or, stance independent justification. Like,
base my understanding of civil society on religion. And so we have a civil society, we have laws that we have decided as a society in a democratic way, and for some people it's okay for it to be informed by their religion, that's okay.
Okay, perfect. So if tomorrow society comes together and we say, hey, trans folks don't deserve rights, you would be okay with that?
No, I would
How on earth does his view entail that? What? Why this guy is just like jumping around from like first of all, Sam never really said like he was a more relativist. I don't know why we're getting that. But he's jumping around from like this version of moral relativism would entail this, and this version of moral relativism would entail that. When like Sam hasn't even really laid out any of those views. That brought a break clip by Michael Knowles and Andrew Wilson saying Sam got owned. I mean, like he's obviously like I mean this is probably the part where he's done the worst so far. Like this is like. Obviously, Michael Knowles and Andrew Wilson would be able to do a lot better here because they actually debate. Actually, I don't know how much Michael Knowles debates like philosophy quite a bit. But I mean, obviously, like I think they would actually have a better justification for explaining like why, in the absence of God, your morality is just a preference or whatever. But Sam lets him get away with 2 or 3 moral philosophical no-nos. Yeah, but
it would be morally right under your
not
view.
Morally right. No. I'm not talking about morals.
Okay,
here.
so here's where I'm getting to, right? Religious foundations provide an ethical framework for one to live their life off.
I believe you can have an ethical framework without religion.
And if we take the leftist view to its logical tail end, to its extreme view, you have low reproductive birth rates. You have a reproductive dead end, so 2 men together can't reproduce unless they have to take from a healthy straight couple. Religion.
Why are we going to fucking gay people now? What the fuck? The logical end of left-wing philosophy is gay rights. Low birth rates, which we see in every country ever as they economically develop.
Provides this foundation where you do prioritize the nuclear family.
So do you have a problem with gay people being married?
It's not that I have a problem. I just don't see a justification for why they ought to be gay outside of it just feels good. Can you give me another justification for it?
Why they ought to be gay? Excuse me, brother? Excuse me?
Well, I think maybe that's the way they were born.
Okay, what about pedophiles? Are they born that way?
They may be, yeah.
Okay, so should we let a pedophile off the hook since they were born that way?
No, I think we as a society has
Should
decided.
implement duties to prevent them from acting on that innate urge, correct?
Well, I think between consenting adults, it's a different thing than.
Okay, so you're okay with
Like literally, it's so obvious. Obviously, this guy knows what Sam answers are gonna be. I don't like.
a 45-year-old dad with a 19-year-old daughter as well? Incest.
No.
If they consent, you're okay with that?
No, I think society has also
Base.
determined that it's not beneficial.
Right, there's
for-
duties and obligations that we have. So
Oh,
religion
I
provides.
don't know why he's doing the society determining thing now. Oh, he's too afraid to say incest is base.
Those duties. Life isn't about
Well, but
freedom
also
and
I can-
exercising what you want.
I mean, well, you want to impose your religious doctrine
No,
on me,
because
and
you
I
just
don't want
admitted.
that.
You just admitted we need duties. We have responsibility as a society to keep us functioning, to keep us thriving. Your leftist view, the liberal view, doesn't provide anything besides it just makes me feel good. Religion does. So what's your argument?
What's my argument as to why I don't want
You have no
your
contention.
religion to? Well, because first of all, I don't think that you have the right to corner what God is telling us is right or
Why
wrong.
don't you play Minecraft
And
with
there are
mods?
differences-
Technically, there are mods in this. I don't know. This was just a world me and my friends had a little bit ago, and I just play it in the background whenever I need content now. But
between religions. And so my argument
can
is,
show you
know, like you're not going
fucking
to
fish mods we have.
keep halal or
Some
kosher,
modded fish.
right? I mean, I don't believe that someone has a corner on religious truth. And the reason why we have a democracy is because we didn't want a king. And the kings came from the
Yes.
idea that their God said that they're the ones who's supposed to be king. And so we can disagree on this. I don't want to live in a country that is ruled by religious fundamentalism.
And if I do, you have no issue with that.
And no. And this is why I say, under Trump, yes, you have won.
Yes.
You have a
Only
bunch
male
of
and
Christian.
female. You're
you
right.
have a
You
Christian
won.
nationalist,
Which is necessary.
so I concede the point that under Trump, your Christian nationalism has gained an advantage
Yes.
under this.
Sorry, we're going
And
to have
so
more
I'm-
kids. We're going to have less abortions. We're going to have more family. We're going to have stable family
True.
households. Sorry about better
Trans
education.
people, gay people should be
They should be
outlawed.
straight. They should be
Women should be secondary to.
they're gonna be straight, and they're gonna have kids, and they're not gonna have abortions. Oh boy, what a wonderful society! And they're gonna do cocaine, and they're gonna hate themselves, and they're gonna beat their wives.
Their husbands.
Women should submit
right?
to the husbands.
Women
That doesn't
should
mean they-
submit to
that doesn't mean they are
husbands.
slaves.
Right,
It doesn't
no,
mean they are-
I
it means they are
understand.
And women aren't gonna work.
No.
Should women
We're gonna bring
be drafted?
manufacturing back.
I think
If they're equal, should they be drafted?
I think this is the vision that you have, and I think Trump supports it. I think the Christian nationalists he has throughout his government are all going to work towards your vision.
Yes.
And my hope is that when people look at this, they say, hey, wait a second. I don't want my life to be dictated by the notion of a Christian nationalist prescription. Now, you may win out. I mean, certainly, like if you look at a country like Iran, they have a theocracy there, and that. Apparently that's good for them if they want it.
My final point is, whenever
but
we
I don't want to live in a
my final point is,
theocracy.
whenever we see people live out Christian values to its full extent, we see a great society. When we see people deviate from that, that's where all the problems arise.
All right,
I
pause.
think you are at home in the Trump.
Thank you very much.
You've been voted out. Please return to your seat.
Sorry, guys.
Make America gay again.
I think I have an issue with the implications of the prompt. I mean, of course, I'll stick on the religious fundamentalism. I think it's unfair.
Oh my-
to
oh,
view
they're all gonna
Christianity
do it.
Separated from the ideology that Christianity informs, right? You have an ideology that you vote upon because you view it to be the truth that benefits everyone in a society. That's how a democracy works. I, as a Christian, have an ideology that informs my opinions, and I believe that it is the most moral and correct way for a society to function. So I think if we put religious fundamentalism in a box where you say any moral implications that I draw from this, religion is unable to be voted upon.
Also, I mean, it's kind of, because we're talking about in an American context. Obviously, when he says religious fundamentalists, he's referring to Christians. But like, Sam could just turn it around and say like, what about Islamic fucking fundamentalists? Like, you guys are all like, they're all justifying Christian religious fundamentalism. I'm so curious what they think about the other types of religious fundamentalisms, even other Christian sects, sext. I can't pronounce it. I'm saying fucking sex. That just have a different interpretation of how fundamental they ought to be.
Unable to be pushed onto you because simply it's a religion is unfair to view it that way. Religion is an ideology like all ideologies are. It's you vote away.
I don't mind you. I don't dispute the idea that you could have a religious
Naga
ideology.
thinks Islamic
and want to see
theocracy
it
is based.
imposed
Remember,
on
some of them
others.
do though. It's
and
true.
it's not inconsistent with my claim. My claim is that Donald Trump is ushering in an element of Christian theocracy.
Actually, how many? It'll be interesting if we go to fucking war of Iran. Maybe their view will change, okay? But we're in fucking, I don't know, maybe if we just had, maybe if what happened with fucking Ukraine, if the Ukraine situation happens somehow with Iran and Trump starts fucking supporting Iran in some proxy fucking war, and maybe they'll be saying Khomeini's just misunderstood. Khomeini isn't as evil as you're saying he is.
I can't remember his name.
Iran is an elected president.
Be excited about, but I'm not excited about it. I don't think the vast majority of Americans are, but maybe I'm wrong. Right. I mean, I don't think this country was set up to be a theocracy, and I find it problematic that it will be. But others will be happy about it.
I think it's unfair as well to label any morals that comes from religion inherently immediately theocratic. Like having a theocracy is something different than having.
I think love thy neighbor is a good precept, and I don't know that we should necessarily legislate it, but I think it's a good precept. Cool. I think there are things from religion that are good. Yeah. I interviewed Desmond Tutu years ago, who said that religion can be, is like a knife. It can be used to spread butter, or it can be used to stab people. Sure. But that doesn't mean that I want religious doctrine to be the same as the law of the land. We have a democracy, and it was founded on trying to get out from some type of like religious oppression, which means one religion should dominate this country. That's my sense.
Yeah, and I see that, but I think I have an issue with where you would perceive religious doctrine is derived from, right? A guy doesn't, at least in Christianity, a guy doesn't go in a room and come out and say that he has a secret message from God that everyone now has to follow. Religious doctrine is ruled over, it's reasoned over, the same way any ideology is discovered.
I'm not talking about the validity of religious doctrine. Right. I'm talking about religious doctrine supplanting democracy and civil society.
And I'm saying that religious doctrine is democratic inherently, and in the way that you.
Well, I mean, look, we can have a debate as to whether or not women should be subservient to men. I don't think they should be. And in a democracy, I don't think it's healthy.
Right. When you said earlier with him that someone shouldn't have I don't know the exact word, like a chokehold on what is religious truth and what isn't religious truth. That's not how religious truth itself works, and that's not how religious truth is brought to the political table to have that work either. Right.
I don't know. When Pete Hegseth is in a bar yelling, we're going to kill all Muslims.
Well, that's
but now he's in charge of the
Did you know that in Israel you're not allowed to have a Jewish marriage? You're not allowed to have a Jewish marriage. How about he spreads his Jew poison to his country instead of white countries? Wow, nice one, dude. You're not, I don't even know what, in Israel you're not allowed, to not have a Jewish marriage. Yeah, they don't do civil marriage. They only do fucking religious marriage or whatever. But and that's why all the like gay people and interfaith people or whatever go to fucking Cyprus or Turkey and get married, and then Israel has to recognize it. But
in the history of the world, and I think, and he's informed by his Christian nationalism. I think that's a problem. Right. Well, we can disagree on that.
We don't take
random chatter. I am anti-Semitic. Common non-fun chatter. Don't worry.
Okay, so Eleazar mentioned his views on gay marriage, and I saw that you believe that essentially conservatives don't believe that gay marriage should be allowed. I want to ask everybody in this room, is there any law or legislation that Donald Trump has passed to prohibit same-sex marriage in the last 4 years? Okay. Is there anyone in here who would potentially oppose two people kissing in public that are of the same sex? You could raise your hand if you want. Yes, in public, kissing in public. No law against it, just your own opinion. Okay, so these are all people's opinions, right? The same way you have your opinions about Christians is the same way these people are allowed.
No, I don't have a problem with
By the way, I think J.D. Vance did vote against the Respect for Marriage Act, right? Am I making that up?
Well, you do not believe that theology should be at its
we should not have a theocracy.
Correct. And so what I'm saying is, I think that Christianity, I'm a Catholic, I think that Christianity is, fundamentally very important to instill.
J.D. Vance stated he would vote no on Respect for Marriage. He was not yet a member. Oh, wait, he wasn't a member of Congress yet when it was passed?
Family values in myself as well as every person who wants to
have children. Voted for the 1994 crime bill.
Let's talk about Order 14,166. That is an executive order that Donald Trump just imposed on identifying what is male and female. So I personally believe, as well as many
the one that fucking made us all woman or made us all fucking non-binary, depending on how you read it.
Sexuals, friends of mine believe that a woman is a biological female, as well as a man being a biological male. You are assigned what you are at birth. You are not assigned your gender later on. What you choose to express is something that is similar to wearing a garment, similar to what you decide to put on your face, and I don't think there should be laws or legislations dictating people or imposing laws to manipulate children, for example, to castrate their bodies at such a young age. 50%.
Why don't you care about your rights being replaced? I see that no is how Jew are you? I'm not
5
Jewish.
years, let's say, I think it was from 2018 to 22, there was a study that just
Okay,
came
I
out
think
from
we'll
Harvard.
think
You know
we'll
how many children
I think we've had enough
gender-affirming care, but,
fun with that. I
broken
think we'll
down
time him
into,
out for a little
puberty
bit.
blockers and then
Give
hormones.
me the numbers.
You tell me. I'm curious.
Well,
because
I'm curious because you're bringing it up.
No, I have the numbers.
Okay, tell me.
I do, but
Tell
I'm
me.
curious if you know.
Tell me what the numbers
I
are.
promise to tell you after you tell me what
No,
you think
I'm
it
not
is.
gonna. I'm not gonna play that game.
Because I have a feeling
not
you
playing this
think it's
game.
no. I
Bro,
am playing this game. Because I
really?
think you think it's much higher. When you tell me that kids are being castrated, I know you don't really know what these numbers are, and I do know these numbers.
Okay, well, I can tell you this much.
What?
It was reported that scientifically, every single child who has received gender-affirming care, about roughly 50% of them regret it. And
He's not gonna actually answer the fucking question.
50% of them are suicidal because of it. They're actually more depressed because of it.
How many of those kids? How many
So
of them-
I haven't kept up with all the fucking. I see fucking trans study shit on Twitter. Maybe I'll
And 50% of them are suicidal
do a deep dive on it one day. I just can't. I don't care that much, man. Studies on a subject often suffer from researcher bias and methodological errors, including inadequate follow-up, imprecise measurement, and poorly chosen sample bias bases. Doctors agree. More research
because
is
of it.
needed.
They're actually more depressed
Wow.
because of it.
How many of those kids? How many?
psychologist,
How
by the
many?
way.
J.D. Vance was the architect of the Iraq War in the '94
Course of 5
fact
years.
felt true.
Tell me.
You tell me. Just give
I
me
know
a
what you're trying to do.
ballpark.
You're trying to put me in this chokehold of like,
No, I'm
I
not
got
J.D. Vance was suggesting that we bomb Serbia as well. Did you guys see that one?
Put you in the
moment.
No, this is definitely a gotcha
No.
moment because I'm suggesting to you that you think this problem is much bigger than
It is a huge problem. Medi-Cal- you know Medi-Cal covers inmate trans women.
I understand that, yes. And I know
medical coverage.
one person has had
Wow. Whoa.
that surgery.
I don't understand how my taxes should go for an inmate prisoner
if
who
you
wants
have
to transition.
Well, I think because we got to do health care for
No,
prisoners,
Gavin
and you don't
Newsom-
consider
Gavin
it real health care.
Newsom- Gavin Newsom has imposed $2.6
It's
billion in
900 kids over
2022.
5 years.
That is a lot of
receive
children.
Puberty
That is a lot
blockers.
of children.
900
AB
kids over 5 years.
547 just.
Do you know-
He didn't. That's a lot of children. It would have been. He can say that's a lot of children, but you know, if this guy was brave enough to spit out a number before, he would pull a fucking Matt Walsh or whatever and be like, 3 million, like.
How many-
including
do you know how
gender
many kids died
identity,
during
gender
COVID?
identity
All right.
to allow children
10
to be
kids a
separated from
month
their parents
die
just
from
due to not
accidental
affirming
gun-
their gender
gun deaths.
identity.
But here's the point. Listen, Trump how is he hurting these people? He just rescinded the ability of the Labor Bureau to investigate discrimination in workplace. Are you for trans people being discriminated in workplace?
They're never being discriminated.
Are
Hold on.
you for trans people being discriminated with
I'm very
housing?
passionate about that question, and can I answer it? Okay, so I believe that affirmative action should be.
It's not affirmative action.
What is it?
It's anti-discrimination. It's
Okay,
not saying that you have to
regardless,
hire
hold on.
trans people.
Okay,
It's
well,
saying
hold on.
you can't fire someone when you find out they're trans.
Okay, well, hold on a minute. So when you hire someone or when you interview someone, for example, you are supposed to interview them based on their knowledge and their work ethic, not based on sex.
I'm not saying
not
affirmative
based
action.
on their sexual
Are you
orientation.
allowed to fire them if you find out they're trans?
If you need to, then you should. If you need to, then you
What is the if you need to there?
So we have a discrimination. I don't believe people should be discriminated against.
Pause.
And that's not discrimination. It's based on your knowledge, not what you sleep with, not who you sleep with. Just saying.
Okay. I don't know. I don't know if there when he says if you need to, I don't know if he's saying that like if the trans person also does something worthy of firing, you can fire them. Obviously that's true. It's just like you can't fire them solely because they're trans. Huh?
Okay.
Sam.
So I actually think that this liberal world order needs to be thrown away completely, and I think Christian nationalism would be a good alternative. What
Wow.
we're seeing right now is
Whoa.
just a
Congratulations.
yeah, and thank you. And yeah, I think what we're seeing right now is a culture of death. This is the most suicidal generation ever. We have millions of children dying by abortion. People aren't even reproduced. Saying we don't even have like a.
Should we mandate people reproduce?
No, I don't think we need to mandate. We can just stop them from killing their kids.
So you want to outlaw abortion?
Yeah.
True. Now are we gonna do a whole abortion debate now? Fucking kill me. I mean, also, like, we just didn't have the mechanism for even, like, testing if people or it's just Canadian, by the way. No shot. Actually, fuck this bitch. Oh my god. Anyway. We don't even, like, part of the, I'm sure depression or YouTube got killed. Wow, no, fuck. No, fuck. No, it's Reem, fuck. It's Jover. Ah, fuck, I had the YouTube tab open for a while.